everyone. Welcome to another episode of To the Younger Me podcast. I'm your host, Roseanne Williams. I think each time I sit in this space and think about the next person that I would want to talk with and look forward to having a conversation with, I've been trying to get this person to sit on the couch for a very long time, busy as they are. The impact they've been in the community and in our lives, that I really wanted to have them on our podcast this evening. And so I'm excited. Why am I excited? Because of the impact that this person has been making, the legacy that this person has been putting in place and have already been leaving. And I want to just share a little bit about this person with you. So today I want to welcome to the couch, brother, my friend, our uncle, Ansel Williams. He's a philanthropist. He's a giver. He's a warm person. He's a family friend, but most of all, he's someone who is making impact today. Welcome to the Younger Me.
Oh, thank you so much, Roseanne. And oh my goodness,
It's been a long time coming.
This is yes, it is a long time coming. And thank you so much for having me. It's something that I've been looking forward to. I've really been looking forward to. Thank you for the kind words. Everything you say about me, I'm gonna say to everyone, it's true. Yeah, you and your family have impacted my life in return. And I think as we go along today, you will see where, you'll hear a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's all about giving and it's about sharing.
Yeah.
It's about giving and receiving. And I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. And I been wanting to have you here for, like I said, a long time, because the main reason to have you here, there's a journey, there's a story. You have a journey, you have a story. And the impact that you've been in our lives in the past 2 years and what I've seen you've been doing, I really wanted you to share with others out there who are listening so that they can hear who you are, hear your heart, and also take action. So as we get started, tell us a little bit about Hansel.
Okay, a little bit about me, and there's not much about me. Okay, but I wanted to say I was born in Jamaica. I raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States when I was about 17 years old. But my basic years were spent in Jamaica. Basic school years were spent in Jamaica. I'm from a very large family.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad have 10, 11 children. So but a very close knit family. I'm from a very close knit family. I have I go a little bit further and say that my grandmother had 20 kids. Her sister, my grand aunt, had 16 children. So I'm from a very huge family, and we were very closely knit, not, very humble family. Mm-hmm. At that time, I consider myself very poor family, but realized that we were rich, and it was not rich in money, but was rich in other things, because that close knitting and everything, that the way we grew up together and how my mother taught us to help in our community was because of richness. When you have something to give, then you're rich. Yeah. You're very rich.
Yeah.
My dad was a carpenter. Okay. My mom was a higgler. My mom sells in the market. She used to leave home every Wednesday, Manchester, and go to Kingston on the train. At that time, I'm not telling how old I was, but at that time, train was running in Jamaica. And she would go to Kingston to the Coronation Market, and she would sell and come back on Friday. But my mom always sell, and when she sells, she'll bring back stuff for the entire community.
Yeah.
She buys stuff from the community, grains and stuff from the community to sell, and then when she sold it, she buy things and come back and give to the community, to the same people she bought it from. And so, I consider
Wow.
myself rich because people always coming to our house was located a couple, just here we'd say a couple blocks from the church.
Yeah.
And every Sunday evening, our house would be full with young people because my mom was also a cook. And so they will always come over, and that's where they will eat at my house. So, we were rich.
That would explain why you're such a good chef. It's from
Yes,
your mother.
yes, part of it is there. I always, I was just in Jamaica recently, and I picked up one of my former schoolmates, classmate, who have not been back to our school since she left there in the 70s. And I took her and we took her to the school, and I was just showing her around, and we were just reminiscing about what happened at the school. And we went to especially one classroom, which was our home economic classroom. And I said, a couple of years ago our home economic teacher passed away, and I said I had to be here for her funeral because she was the second person who taught me in terms of home economics,
Yeah.
other than outside of my mom. So yes, my mom was my first home economic teacher, and Miss Lewis was my second home economic, because I did that. And we were even talking about in school, boys, they used to laugh at us boys and call us sissy because, we're cooking
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
that's where it started.
That's where it started. And then you migrated
Yes.
to United States of America.
Yes, I migrated here, and my father, he took us, little 2x2, 3x3s. Yes, and I was introduced to East New York Church of God. That's the first place. My mom was here at that time.
Yeah.
Took me there, and the journey starts there. I went to college. There's a whole story behind that I'm not going to tell you today.
Yeah.
But another day we'll
Another
get
day.
into that. But anyway, I attended college here, and started working on Wall Street as I did accounting in college. After my accounting years, I was working on Wall Street with Lloyd's of London. Then I went to Chemical Bank, and as a foreign exchange, I was in foreign exchange trading. So even though I had I was working while I was going to school. So I got my degree in accounting while I was in school, but I already was working in the banking industry. So they sent me to banking school as well. So I went to International School of Banking and get my international banking degree as well. So, and I worked on Wall Street until my middle age. And then I know you mentioned that I'm a philanthropist. I decided my dad always wanted me to go into construction.
To use your hands.
And I always said, no, Dad, that's not what, no. And somehow it propelled something after working in banking all my years, working in accounting. I remember when I decided that I wanted to start construction, one of my classmates said to me, she goes to another church in Brooklyn, she said to me, I don't see you doing construction because your hands, when you were now, you have those soft accounting hands and stuff like that. But I wanted to do something on my own.
Yeah.
And I decided, thinking about 1986 it was, that I decided that I wanted to go open my own business. I went and I got, all the things together, my license and everything, and opened my own construction business. And the rest is history.
Yeah, because to this day, you're still
Yeah.
impacting people, whether it's here or abroad. You're helping people. If somebody needs you, I know they can call on you.
Yeah.
And so these two hands that God has given you and the gift of your parents, you're seeing it because it's bearing fruit. Thanks for sharing your journey.
And just to add to that, and you mentioned that, where working in accounting, working in banking, construction had took me places where I wouldn't have gone if I was still in banking.
Wow.
I could tell you I worked in Chicago. I have people call me in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
To do work for them. I have people in Florida that I worked in Florida. I worked in Canada.
Pennsylvania.
I used to travel back and forth to Canada every week to work in Canada. Missouri, I have customers there that call me. People that probably were living in New York at some point, they relocated and they bought a house there and they want me to come in and to help them. So it have taken me along quite a bit of places.
By using your hands
Yeah.
and the gift what God has given you. Thanks for sharing that. I particularly wanted you because I met you when you started you're doing your own business. And when I met you, one of the things that I admired about you was that you're a people person. And you're Williams. I'm married to a Williams. You know, and all the time people would say that we're related. I feel like we're related because of how you received me as a stranger and how you receive people and the impact that you have been to people. And I say that because, and I want to kind of bring it into why I wanted to talk to you. I know you're a great chef, and I know you're great at building things and bringing it down and putting it together. But the impact that I've seen, what I've seen you doing in the past 10 years or so with people, I'm at a place in life where I believe that the biggest legacy is people. People. The biggest legacy
Yes.
is people. And I see you and how you are with people. I remember when you told us about this new venture that you're starting and being a part of, and where it's taken you and have taken you. And I was like, okay. In my head, I couldn't understand it. But when I see it, now I understand the vision that God gave you and the impact that you've been to just your community and your high school. I think it's your primary school. And when I met a young lady, she's not a made-up person. She's an actual young lady who has received the benefits of your legacy.
Yes.
And when I say, and your hard work, because so many lives have been changed because of you, this young lady's life has been changed. And I speak to this young lady specifically because I met her. She's in college now in America. She's getting an education and so bubbly and so much life. And when I hear her talking to you, I'm like, that's what really matters, is what you will leave for people. So I want you to share on that journey.
Right.
What caused you to give birth to the need to help people? And it's not just young people, it's all age group. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay. Let me say what led me. I always said, and I run a joke with my brothers every time, that whatever happened to me and the things that I do, I blame my mom for it. Because I mentioned to you briefly about how she used to sell and bring back things.
Yeah.
And I think that seeing her doing this and giving back to people, it conceives something in me.
Yeah.
To want to follow in her footsteps.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I tell you this, and this is very serious. My mom used to come back home from Kingston, from the market, and every time she comes back home on Saturday, my aunt lives in Kingston. She used to do this big pan of sprat fish. We really love sprat fish. So my aunt used to send down a pan of sprat fish for us every Friday. And when mom comes home, she would share it up for, and we would be so mad because she's sharing up what our aunt sent for us
In the community.
in the community.
Yeah.
And so, the ambition, the drive to do this is something that I think I got from my mom. Always want to give back. Right now, you mentioned about what I'm doing. Some of the things I'm doing, I'm working with. Okay, I work with my primary school. Yes, I'm the president of a primary school, past student association, and we do give back. That young lady, we started this past student association. Roseanne, I worked on this for 30 years. For 30 years, I tried to put together a past student association from my primary school, because I always think that's where I get my start from.
Yeah.
And the story that I told that I have to tell you, I'll tell you next time about, I've never been to high school, okay? So that's another story. And that's why I'm so passionate about my primary school, because all my education, everything that I've learned is from there. Never went to, and people said, okay, how you never went to high school, but you went to college. That's another story. I did not even go and get a GED. I did not even get that, and I went to college. But that's God. That's another thing. That's another story I'll share at some point. But this young lady, when we started, after 30 years, someone called me from Florida and said, I heard that you're trying to start this past student association.
Yeah.
Was one of my classmates I have not seen for over 30 years.
Yeah.
But someone told them that I was trying to do that. I've contacted them. And, long story short, she said she lived in Florida. I flew to Florida.
Yeah.
And I called some other folks, and we get together and we formed this past student association. This young lady was the recipient of our first scholarship. The first year we started in 2016, the young lady that you mentioned. And, for that, I'm very grateful, for the people who have helped us in that. But to tell you about my journey, how I get started and what propels me, I remember when I came here, and my mom was here before me. Everything comes from my mom. Everything started with my mom. She used to bring back barrels, and my dad used to bring back trunks to Jamaica and share for the community. I'm telling you, this is what used to happen.
Yeah.
And when I came here 49 years ago, I remember my very first trip to Jamaica. I was bringing back suitcases of stuff and just giving it out to people.
Yeah.
And right after I came here, I got saved in Jamaica. I got saved, very young age in Jamaica. And I came here. And I remember going back to Jamaica. I know, when I saw all that was happening in my community, again, I went to the pastor, the church that was there, not the pastor that was pastoring. He had done pastor, and a new pastor had took over at that time. And I said, you know what? I really want to do something for our community. And he said, what? I said, I want to do a mission to the church, a Christmas mission thing for the church. And he said, we welcome the idea. I think this was in 1977, 1976. I think it was 1977, we had a hurricane. I think it was Gilbert. But it was right after a hurricane struck, I think October of that year, or September of that year. And so I wasn't able to do the stuff that I was doing, to plan to go down at the time. So I made a Christmas program, because right after the hurricane, I decided, I start putting barrels together. I end up having 8 barrels, I remember.
Wow.
And I decided I wanted to go to Jamaica. And it was hard going into the country because of, the destruction of the hurricane and the infrastructure and everything like that. So someone said, you can send it to Jamaica, to the church, to the Council of Churches in Jamaica, and they will distribute it. I called up the Council of Churches in Jamaica, and I said, yes, I have this thing that I would like to give back to, to my community. They said, yes, we will receive it, and they're going to clear it and everything. I didn't have to pay anything but to ship it down there. And then I asked the question, how are you going to get it to Manchester to the folks that, no, they said, no, that's not how it works. How it works is that we look at the folks that needed things and we give it to them. If we found out, I said, you know how things work. And especially in these big organizations.
At that time,
the need is going to be closer to them first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it spread out. And I
Yeah.
said, you know what? No, this is not my intention. So I decided to try to get a trip to Jamaica, which I did. And I tell you, long story, went down to Jamaica. The pastor opened up the church for me. We went in one night before and we start packing gifts bags, and we gave out gifts to and clothing to over 300 people.
wow.
Plus we fed them. I hired a chef to come in.
Wow.
And we had a cook out, and it was really wonderful. And that was really the beginning of what I call my mission. I feel that I was always, I think I have the gift to be a missionary, to do things for people.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we have done, even in East New York with our pastor there.
Yeah.
I was on mission trip to Africa, which I learned a lot from. And, we're not going to go into that today, but that is where I started. So I always want to give back. So it's not just in the school, I want to, but community-wise. One of the things that I planning on doing, and we plan to implement and to launch in January of next year, is my own foundation.
Yes.
And not that you're married to Williams, you're Williams. And it's going to be the Williams Foundation. So guess what? You could always attach your name to this.
Well,
okay.
I can attach my name to it, and I'll tell you why. I'll attach my name to it because it has integrity. Mm-hmm. It is real, because I see the work that you're doing. I see the impact that you're making. I know that whatever you say you're going to do, that's what you've been doing. So will I grab onto it? Yes, I will. And probably somebody who's watching this podcast will
definitely,
grab a hold
most
of it.
definitely. But this is something I really want to do. I have made contacts in Jamaica with, some of the infirmaries.
Yeah.
I call them
Yeah.
old folks home and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I have one doctor now calling me now that he wants me to reach into St. Mary. I'm in Manchester. And yes, he wants me to come over to St. Mary. He introduced a home over there. As a matter of fact, the Church of God has a senior home that I have adopted last year.
Wow.
In Kingston.
Wow.
When we were there for their assembly.
Yes.
And they took me on a tour with the pastor,
Yes.
Mike, and then went with me at that tour. So that's a home that I adopted and I'm supporting in Jamaica. The Manchester Infirmary.
Yeah.
In Kendall, I'm supporting that. Also met with the matron there, and we supporting that, and now I have St. Mary is and they in the wings waiting. So my thing is to always give back. Is really because there's so much need. You can't help but people ask why I go to Jamaica so much. I don't go to Jamaica because
That was gonna be listen, that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna say, because I'm gonna say this. I think you're 12 months of the year, you're probably in Jamaica. I'm gonna say 10 months of the year you're in Jamaica. And I'm like, why are you always there? But the more I see the work that you're doing, I understand why. Because not that America doesn't need it, but you're giving back. Jamaica needs it. People need it. And I see where it's necessary. I saw a picture of you with the robotics team. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that you're so deep in it. I know you went last year, but then this year again, you went. I think it was in Venezuela.
Last year we went to Geneva, Switzerland. This year we went to Singapore.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you must have had some type of impact for you to be invited to be a part of the Jamaica team. Well,
that is again part of the association, the Union of Jamaican Alumni Association, which I'm affiliated with. Mm-hmm. I worked with them. I'm a matter of fact, I'm the assistant treasurer for that organization, and which is my primary school past student association. That is our umbrella organization, and that allows me to travel with our children, because we sponsor children from Jamaica for
Yeah.
these robotics. We've been
Yeah.
doing it since 2012, and I mean they've been, that's, that. But again, that's a whole nother story. But let me just stick a little bit to what you asked before, when you're talking about, I mean, what I'm doing in Jamaica and these. Rose, you cannot go to Jamaica. And I
Yeah.
started was to say that when I go there, I'm not going to resorts and places like this. I
Yeah.
would love
Yeah.
to, and sometimes we need to do that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just the passion that I have for people
Yeah.
that drives me, and the love that I have,
Yeah.
and want to share, and really want people said give back. I said yes, it's giving back because that's where I'm coming from, but I'm giving forward to
Yeah.
kind of help people, to
Yeah.
help somebody. This young lady you spoke about, giving forward to her, so that some of the things I didn't have the opportunity to
Yeah.
get a sponsor from a school, and I was a bright kid. Back in school, I didn't have it, because guess what? And there were opportunities, but I just didn't have that kind of support thing around me.
Yeah.
But here she is, and I can help her.
Yeah.
And we working with them. So, my thing is that people, there's always need.
Yeah.
From there's always need, and we can look around us and we can see that every time, everywhere, that there are needs. But the thing is about need. What I how I look at myself, I look at it and I said, if you have to, or if I have to, if I know that you need something,
Yeah.
and I have to wait for you to ask me
Yeah.
for what you need,
Yeah.
when I already know that you needed it,
Yeah.
then I really don't care too much about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand
That's
what I'm
good.
saying?
That's good. Yeah.
I don't
Say
really,
it again.
if I have to wait for you,
Yeah.
and whether it's in a relationship with, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay, let me put this in a relationship perspective.
Yeah.
If a guy loves a young lady, and he knows that she loves him, and he have to wait for her
Ooh, this is good.
to ask him, then he really don't.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you know somebody needs something,
Yeah.
you need to give it to them.
Yeah.
If you have it to give to them.
Yeah.
And so that and love is something that it revolves.
Yeah.
Okay, you give and you get.
Yeah.
Today, the message today was, when
Was
Sister
good.
Pam, was awesome message, and I just jotted down my notes. Whatever I have here is just from the notes that I received, and it just revolve around that. The message was really, time for a breakthrough, and I was just thinking, coming here, that I'm here, trying and preparing myself, putting together my board of directors. I have some great folks that lined up to that I talked to and are ready to go with me to launch this foundation. It's not for profit foundation next month, but here it is, and I'm looking for that breakthrough. I'm really looking for that breakthrough.
Yeah.
And that breakthrough in the type is the people that I will be talking to.
Yes.
Is the people that will be coming aboard to help me,
Yes.
because this is a total voluntary business.
Your time.
And when Sister Pam talked about that, and she said something about the gift is not for you alone, it's for other people. So what we have is not just for us.
It's not
it's
just
for
for
other
us.
people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Say it again.
What we have is not just for us, it's for other people. That's what I think that's why God blesses us. And you know what?
I know.
I don't want
I
to
know.
say it this way, but you know what? Sometime I said, Lord, you know why I'm not rich.
Yeah.
And then I said, maybe if I was, it would be a different story.
You'd be looking through different lens.
But God blesses you with what he knows. I think the pastor always say it, he'll give it to you if it can get it through you,
Yes.
something to that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he gives you just enough that you
Yeah.
know that you can handle.
Yeah.
And that what you can work with.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So whatever he gave to me, whatever he blesses me with, and he blesses me, when I say he blesses me through you, through your husband, through people in the church that who contribute.
Friends. Yeah.
My family,
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, just this week,
Come on now.
someone said to me, my sister have 12 hospital beds waiting for you
Wow. What?
to send to Jamaica. I was at their house to deliver something, and this is what they said. 12 hospitals bed to say. So I'm saying when God blesses me, he's blessing me through other people.
Yeah. But he's blessing you.
Huh?
But can I say this? It's because he can trust you. Because if he can't trust you, he's not going to get it through you. Because he could give it to you for you to hoard it, hold on to it, and be like what you just described when you talked about in Jamaica, where they would have distributed to people around them versus getting it to somebody who is in need. Because the need that you're feeling is not the need of like Jane Doe because Jane Doe has a status. You're helping John because John needs it. How many times do we go for the who's who and miss what God really has for us, for you? And so this lady who's telling you she has these resources, it's because she knows you're going to get it to the right place.
Get it to the right place.
And that's what's most important.
Yes. Rosie, let me say, again, I wrote down, I looked up this word this morning, I tell you, there was just so much in this message from Minister Jilks this morning, and I was looking up the word, have to be able to pronounce it right, reciprocity.
Yeah, you got it.
And it says you are obligated to give. We all know what with men, and I started writing, and I said, you know what happened? We are obligated to give something back.
Yeah.
All of us. Have that obligation on us. Some of us do it, some of us honor it, some of us don't. In every area of our lives, we should reciprocate.
Yeah.
Every area of our life.
Yeah.
Okay? It is, and when I think about it, I said, this is about sowing and reaping. It's about seed time and harvest.
Ooh.
And Sister Jill talk about time today.
That's
a
good.
Time, and that Ecclesiastes chapter 3 talks about time to sow and a time to reap.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
When we give back, we are sowing.
Yes.
And so it doesn't mean that you sow and you reap. Sometimes you sow.
Yeah.
And other people reap. So
not only that, your children's children.
The Bible tells you that. The Bible tells you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, So I don't think my thing is that I don't think I should let anybody outgive me.
Yeah.
Outdo me in giving.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If I'm doing it as unto the Lord, if I'm doing it out of my giftedness, then guess what? I'll never be wanting of anything.
Yeah.
So my intention is to always outgive you. And that's not something normal. That's something, I think that's something bigger than you, bigger than me.
Yeah.
This is something that is not the natural stuff we're talking about.
It's not.
And that's how I feel, that I always have to do a little bit more.
Oh, that's good. Can you feel that? It's so good. It's so good.
And just
it's resonating.
It's not just giving. Some people. I think his mother Arch, our former one of our pastors, said, we give so that we can get. People give so that you shouldn't give in expecting to get anything back.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm giving because there is a need. I give because there's a need.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's always been your nature, though.
The coming back to you. The cup running over and the filling comes from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Something that we have no control over.
Yeah. You talk about giving. And another thing that came to my mind is of your time. I remember when we were in a season and we were going through a really challenging time, and I'd lost my father-in-law, and I never forgot. It was a Sunday morning. You just came, and you just gave your time. And so what you're saying is real, because you didn't have any expectation. You didn't look for any accolades, no reward. You just did it. And I really think that's one of the things that I admire about you. It's not expecting anything in return. I am so excited for what God is going to do with you. What the Williams Foundation is going to do
Yes.
for people all over this world. Because you're not only pouring it into your birth home, but you're also pouring into America and everywhere else that the Lord will lead you. And with your hands and your feet, with His direction, He's going to lead you. I thought this was really good. Is there anything else that you can share with us to speak to whoever may be inspired, that this was resonate with them, impact them, would be a part of this, so that when they watch this podcast, they could write in the chat, I want to be a part of this.
Yes, and I will come to that, but I just want to add one little bit more, and this may be part of what you're asking also.
I want you to give it to us.
I just wrote this down today again, this morning. Service was a blessing today. Yeah. And I think this session that we're having right here,
on time,
it was well on time. I think it's ordained, because I did not know. I don't take notes in church.
Yeah.
I don't do that. And today I have my bag and I had to pull out my notepad and here to know the day. And I was writing as Sister Pam was preaching, and one of the things I wrote, we have people who are better at taking than giving.
Yeah.
And we have to get ourselves in that position, and this I just want to leave with everyone. We have to get ourselves in the position that we start to be that person who is the giving person. Okay, let people take if they want to. Eventually, and I wrote that, it came to me. Eventually, if you don't give what you have, it will die. And
eventually, if you don't give
what you have, it will die.
It will die.
It will die.
It will die.
Okay?
It will die.
Okay, even nature itself, the trees, I think about that and I jotted down. The trees always give back.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does the tree give? How do the trees give back?
Yeah.
Their leaves, the beautiful leaves on those trees that gives you shade in the summertime. Yeah. And today they were talking about seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gives you shade in the summertime. It greens in the springtime.
Yeah.
It gives you shade in the summertime, and in the autumn time you see those nice foliage and those nice colors. But in the winter time, those trees leaves are shredded.
Yeah.
And what happened? They shed those leaves, they go back into the ground.
Yeah.
It's a form of fertilizer that other trees absorbed and able to get again, and the cycle starts all over. So the very tree, nature.
Oh,
God
that's
teaches
good.
us through nature how to give back and how it will come back to you. As one song says. So we need to get ourselves into that's the process. And when I talk about seed time and harvest, this is it: sowing and reaping. And money is not everything.
Changes hands.
One of the things that I said to myself, and even in my job when I was in my construction, I said, you know what? I don't work for money. I work for solving situation, for solving problem. This is what people pay you for solve an issue, solve a problem. You don't work for money. You shouldn't work for money. When you start working and solving problems, believe you me, the money will come.
The money will come. That's good.
I have so much more that I wrote, but I'm not even going to go into that today, And I was thinking of Sister Pam was talking again today, and I know I'm going off a long time.
No.
Proverbs.
But
I went to
there.
Proverbs 18, and it tells you, your gifts will make room for you. And I'm thinking about it. I said, what happened once you start using your gift? I know what my gifts are. And I thank God for the Church of God of East New York.
Yeah.
I really thank God for it,
Yeah.
because our pastor,
Yeah.
I don't know any workshop that pastor have not introduced to us.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first introduced spiritual gifts workshop. I've been through a couple of those. How to discover your gifts. And it's one thing to have gifts, but it's another thing to know what your gifts are,
Yeah.
and to operate in those areas.
Yeah.
Okay. And some people might, everybody want to preach, and yes, I do preach, I do all of that and stuff like that. But when you have the gift that can impact other people's life outside of the building, I think that is so much more important. I think it has so much more. Yes, there are spiritual lives, yes, we need, but I think about gifts that impact people in where they at. Meet them where they're at. Where it reaches them on the byways, on the hedges. I looked at Jesus' ministry, and most of the time that you hear him have a crowd in front of him, what he do? He'll feed them first.
Yeah.
He'll meet their needs first.
Yeah.
He'll meet their natural needs.
They can be engaged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get them in a comfortable situation. Get them where they're, before you give them more. And I realize that you have to give people that. You have to make people feel comfortable. If you're going to minister to folks, you need to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You need to make them feel, at ease. If I'm hungry and you're here preaching something to me that I don't know and quoting scripture, I'm here thinking my belly is rolling and my belly is groaning, and here you're telling me, most time people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Most time people don't want to hear that.
Because people matters.
Yeah.
And you're a people matter person. I see how you have been making strides. And again, I'll always go back to what I'm seeing you've been doing. And I know that there's more that you'll be doing.
Yes. And the gifts that you have, use it. Use the gift that you have. Use what you have. Don't fight your problems. That's what I said. Don't fight your problem. Kill it. Don't fight the problem. Kill it. Don't your gift
fight the problem.
To kill that problem.
Use your gift to kill that
problem.
And
what I meant by that, I jotted down some stuff here about a couple of Bible character. David. How did he solve the problem of Goliath? Goliath was the problem.
Yeah.
He killed it.
Sure
Esther
did.
solved the problem of genocide. Okay? And it's the gift that is within you have to use to do these things. Moses solved the problem of slavery.
Yeah.
With what? A rod. Whatever you have, use it to God's glory. Yeah. If he gave it to you, use it to his glory.
Yeah.
It was his rod that he used to solve that problem of slavery.
Yes, he did.
Just stretching out that rod, and those people were able to cross.
Yeah.
And what? Pharaoh's army was killed.
Whatever is in your hand.
Jesus used the problem of sin. Solved the problem of sin by dying on the cross.
Yeah.
So use whatever God gives you. I'm trying to use the ability he gave me, the heart that he gives to me, to do whatever I can. And I will continue to do this until I can't do it anymore. It's just something I want to do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing right now other than, people say my salvation, my family. There's nothing more important to me than seeing this happen and that, and helping other people.
It will come to pass. It will come to pass. That was good.
Thank you.
That was I didn't expect anything less. It was enriching. It was empowering. And I know it has been impactful, and it resonates with me. But I know what's in you is going to come out. And so I am grateful for you to take the time to be with me this evening to just share.
It was my pleasure.
After all this time, finally. But I really want to invite anyone who may be watching our podcast that the Lord would lay on their hearts so they can be any support, any help, any resource to our young people, our adults, and our seniors, and those that you've been giving back to. How can people contact you?
Okay. Okay, like I said, one of the things that we're doing is we're getting things registering now, the foundation and all of that stuff. So there's going to be a lot more information coming out in terms of, contact information once I have everything, paperwork's done and, getting all of that stuff. But right now, you can get me on Facebook. I'm going to leave.
What's your Facebook? Well, we'll put it in the bottom
Right,
of the.
right.
We'll put it on the page.
Right, and you can get. I'm also. I'll give you to email address that I, not my personal email address, but one that I'm using right now to helping with the schools and stuff like that and all that information. But for right now, yes, I would want to leave it at that until I get, because I want to have something for the foundation itself, all that information pertaining to the foundation itself.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, and we'll put that information on the page so that anyone who wants to get in contact with you can. Right. Anyone who wants to reach out to us in the chat, you can.
Exactly.
Hoping that your story, your experience, the impact, what you're doing, the legacy that you hope to leave, so that they will leave a legacy that will continue in time until eternity. That people will reach out, whether it's through your website or through us, and we'll definitely get them to you. I hope that you enjoyed today's podcast. I tell you, he has been speaking to the younger me for a very long time. I'm better for it. I know people that are better for it, and I want you to be better for it. And I also want you to join the vision, because I'm not going to come on here and promote or bring someone in and invite them to sit on the couch with me who does not have worth, who does not have value, and there's no integrity in what he is doing. I can tell you, Mr. Hansel Williams, he's a man of God. He's a friend. He is a very dear person to us. And so we wanted to introduce him to you today so that he would also be able to share what he's been doing and how you can be a part of it. Thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for inviting us into your home or wherever you view this podcast. Share this with someone, because you never know who will be better for it. And like he said, it's not about you. It's whatever God has placed in your hands. Use it. Use it for his glory and for his honor. And you will see the reward. It's not only about money. Reward comes in a different way. And so I thank you today for watching To The Younger Me podcast. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the next video. And when it drops, you'll be the first to know. Again, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And God bless you.
Bless you too.